Hey, I'm Martin Benson. Thanks for watching this video. And if you are watching this video, that means that you decided to do a headshot session with me. And I wanted to thank you for that. And the reason that I'm doing this video is because a lot of people ask me, how can I choose the best headshot? Most actors don't really know what to look for, especially ones who haven't done a headshot session before. And for ones that have, it's just confusing because you hear all different sorts of things from different websites, and then one casting director might tell you something and then another person might tell you something completely different. So it's just this question that nobody really knows how to choose the best headshot, especially when they have to go through like 100 or 200 pictures. You know, it becomes really difficult. So that's why I'm doing this little video for you. So the first thing that you want to do when you're looking through your shots is just right off the bat knock out all of the shots that are on your disc that are either too blurry or too dark, or they have a technical problem. What you want to check for specifically is to make sure that the eyes are sharp in focus. If the front eye, for instance, if you're aiming towards the side and the front eye is blurry and the back eye is in focus, that's bad. Choose shots that either the front eye is in focus, or if both eyes are equidistant from the camera, then choose one where both eyes are in focus. Second thing to do is you want to knock it down to the ones that you really like. I mean, if you look at a shot of yourself and you don't feel comfortable with the way that the shot looks, then don't use it. You don't want to pick a shot that you think might look good, but in reality, in your own mind, you're thinking, I guess this could be a shot that I could use, but I don't like the way that I personally look in it. If you don't feel comfortable about your shot, you don't want to use it because you're not going to feel confident about it. And it's just sometimes the things that people tell you to look for in shots might not work for you, and that's just the case of how it is. So I say get rid of the ones that you definitely don't like. Just if it's a weird angle or you think it looks bad, just don't use it. Now what you want to do is get down to the real details, because remember, based on which session you chose with me, you either may or may not be getting a certain amount of touch-ups. So obviously you have to narrow it down to those for the touch-ups, but additionally you have to narrow it down to the one top headshot that you're going to use the most often. You're going to use for sending out to casting calls, or you're probably going to use it at maybe the home page on your website, or a place like castingnetworks.com or Actors Access, whichever website you have your actor resume set up on. So for that, you really want to get it down to one top headshot, and that's where all of these little details come in that I'm about to explain to you. And I'm going to show you some different photos that will sort of give you an idea of what to look for, because things can be said in words, and that's what I had in the past. I had an article that I would give to people that talked about it, but it's a lot easier if you actually see images so you know what I'm sort of talking about. So let's get into it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk about what not to look for. Based on getting rid of photos, it'll be much easier to narrow it down to what's the best possible shots, okay? So the first thing that you really want to not have in your headshot is a look that shows that you're sort of trying too hard. So for instance, if you give a look where you're really squinting your eyes, it might be cool and it's good in certain cases, but you just don't want to look like you're trying to do that, like you're sort of focusing too much on acting a certain way for the camera. If you check out this shot here, this one looks fine. Now on the other hand, this one, it looks as though the actor is actually really trying too hard. You see the way he's squinting his eyes, and he's got a strange look on his face. People talk too much on the internet about intensity and bringing out some sort of crazy look in your headshot that makes you look like a really intense person or something along those lines. I mean, honestly, casting directors aren't stupid. They can look at your headshot and they can say, oh, this guy was just trying to do this for the camera. You want to look natural. There's nothing bad with having a good look and a confidence coming out of your headshot and all of that, but you just definitely want to make sure when you're looking through these shots that you're not trying too hard, or it doesn't look like you're sort of forcing a look to come out, because that will look fake and it's just not going to work. So the second thing that you want to look for is the idea of the headshot not being you. Now, by this, I'm talking about the expression coming out of it. Every person that I've worked with in the past has a different personality, and they're just different. And certain expressions don't work for people. I may ask you during a shoot to play a seductive look or play the bad guy role or something like that, but honestly, in certain people, it doesn't work. So when you're looking at the shots, make sure that it doesn't look fake. It should look like you in a role that you can play. So for instance, if you're a really funny person in general, obviously you'll be able to play funny roles. You may be able to play serious roles, but I mean, me, I guess I'm sort of I'm kind of a funny person, I guess. And so if I suddenly have a shot where I'm like something really intense, it just doesn't really work for me. You know, I might have a slight smile or something's going on there that you want to look for, that because a casting director is definitely going to be able to tell if you're being fake. It sort of goes along with the first thing that I was saying. So if you look at this shot here, this one, there's something off about it. It doesn't look as if the actor is really who they are in real life. If you look at this image though, it does bring out a truth to it. There is something in the actor that it looks like that person could definitely be in that position. There's nothing fake about the image. So the next thing that you want to look for is shots that don't look like you in a more literal sense, meaning most headshots should be taken fairly straight on, maybe a slight high angle or a slight low angle, but nothing too drastic. If I shoot somebody and their head is turned all the way to the side and they're hiding half of their face and you can't see it, that's a bad thing. So you don't want to choose a shot like that. Additionally, if I shoot somebody from a really high angle and their face is far down, it's going to accentuate certain things and make their face maybe look thinner, or it might accentuate their forehead and make that a little bit bigger. There's all those sorts of things, and you want to look at the shot and you want to make sure that that is not something that's present in the photo. So for instance, look at the difference between these two shots. So for instance, in the one on the left, the actor is looking straight on towards the camera. Now this one, you can definitely tell what the person looks like in real life. On the other one, it was shot at a different angle and the person actually looks different. And so you don't want to look more perfect or maybe thinner or anything than in real life, because the reason that the casting director is bringing you in is because they want you for the role that they have envisioned. And whatever headshot you send in, you have to look exactly like you did in that shot. So for instance, if you're asking me to touch up your photos and you have all gray hair, I mean, I'm being a little bit overly dramatic right now, but if you have all gray hair and you ask me make my hair brown, I mean, a casting director who sees your shot with the brown hair is going to want you to walk in with brown hair. And it's the same exact thing with freckles, for instance. Sometimes people want me to take their freckles away, and I recommend that they don't do that because you want to look like you look in your shot. So the last thing that you want to look for is confidence. Okay? Confidence and approachability are the keys to a successful actor headshot. Confidence being the number one thing. Approachability, it really depends, because actor headshots, you may want to look like kind of a mean person in one and then a nice person in another. But the idea of confidence is pretty much key to every successful actor headshot, and that's all in the eyes. The eyes bring out confidence. And if you're not showing confidence, if you're just showing a happy smile, it's a snapshot. As soon as you have confidence and there's a look in your eyes that you can see, that you can really tell that something is going on in there and the person really knows what he or she is doing, at that point, then you know that you have a shot that's going to work. So out of all these shots that we've gotten rid of so far, you've narrowed it down to just a couple of shots, and they all should have confidence. Make sure that your shot has that confident look in it, okay? That's probably the biggest thing, the most important thing that you can have in a headshot. Because if there's no confidence in it, a casting director is going to think, oh, this person probably can't act. And then they'll toss your headshot into the circular filing bin, known as the garbage. So hopefully these tips have been helpful for you. If you do have any questions, feel free to visit the website cityheadshots.com, and my contact information is on there, including my email address and my phone number, and I'll definitely get back to you if you do want to ask me anything. Of course, also, if you're interested, you can actually ask me for my opinion on which headshot you should use. It's totally up to you, but don't hesitate to ask me if you want. I'll definitely tell you. I'll send you like a list of a bunch of shots from the session that I think were really good. So anyway, thanks again for choosing me for your headshots, and I hope you have a lot of success in your acting career, right? Thanks a lot.